Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Maida. Today we will be checking out a new foundation that I've decided to add to my collection. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. Of course, I will update once I have a little bit more time with it to get to know it a little better, but we can just explore first impressions, if you will. And then I also have a blush from Danessa Myricks. This is one of the new blushes. So if you want to hang out with me for a little bit, play with makeup and see what we think about these products, or see what I think about these products, then I hope that you will keep on watching. Friends, I come to you a brand new woman. I was humbled yesterday by a very aggressive case of heartburn. It's not that serious, but I felt like my insides were melting inside of me, burning me from the inside out. It was a lot. Come to find out that my depression medicine is actually the one wreaking havoc inside of my body. So don't love that, but just gonna try to take it at a different time and with food, as opposed to it being the first thing that I consume in the morning. And then hopefully that'll solve the issue. But oh my gosh, in my whole 32 years of life, I've never felt that burning sensation. So I just put a little bit of the e.l.f. putty primer toward the center, and then I'm gonna add the Well People Bio Brightener priming serum to the perimeter. But yeah, I've never felt that type of heartburn. Like it went through my back. Oh my gosh, it was just the worst. I take my medication at like 10 in the morning, and I decided I wanted to start spring cleaning a little earlier than usual. So walking around, trying to get things together, I take my pill. It felt like it never went down, you know? Like it was just kind of stuck in my esophagus, and then it just kind of stayed there. No matter what I had, water, dairy products to see if it would help. Oh, I took Tums as well, which are basically like chalk candy that don't really do much for me. But anyway, it was rough. It was rough. Oh, the only thing that helped was actually cinnamon tea. Shout out to my man for taking care of me yesterday, because that was tough. And for that reason, I think I'm going to stop drinking so much coffee in the morning, because to be able to like function as a normal human, I feel like I have to have a ton of coffee to kind of get myself going. Today though, I ended up doing an iced matcha latte instead, and not only was it delicious, it like made my stomach feel like it was getting a hug. I'm being so dramatic. Anyway, let's talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. So this is what this baby looks like. She's cute. She's in this type of component, which is okay. I don't mind it because it actually has a pump. So let's read. My new buildable medium coverage hydrating foundation for a beautiful healthy looking glow. 7 Neutral, which is the shade that I have, is a shade for medium skin with neutral olive undertones. A neutral undertone means you have both warm and cool undertones, and you tan slightly in the sun. Darlings, my new beautiful skin foundation gives everyone skin that looks beautifully hydrated, plumper, smoother, and brighter. This medium coverage hydrating foundation has been expertly formulated with skincare ingredients to combine instant glow and buildable coverage with long-term skincare benefits, with brightening rose complex and hydrating hyaluronic acid to improve the look of skin with each wear. What made me choose this foundation? I take recommendations from my sister-in-law because she has immaculate skin, but she recommended this. She was really in love with the finish. I'm all about my skin looking hydrated, bouncy, and if it has skincare benefits, then even better. Apply to the entire face and buff into the skin using Magic Complex brush. Dope. I don't have that. We're just gonna work with what we got. For medium coverage and a healthy looking glow, using fingertips, pat onto areas to conceal and blend for natural looking coverage. Okay, so let's try her out. So one of the first things, and you'll see I have footage from when I first opened this up and wanted to swatch it. I was sort of confused about the cap itself because for some reason, and it's not, of course it's not gonna do it now, I was surprised to see that the inside, that little plastic thing, was like stuck on here and it wasn't coming off with the cap. And when it comes to these kinds of packagings, I mean, they're fine. I don't mind them, but it just traps air within the pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Real Techniques brush, buffing brush, and add it to this side of my face so that you can see what it looks like in comparison to no makeup. When I first applied this, I was colored impressed. The reason being that, here, let me pull you in a little bit. I do like the finish on the skin. It's not greasy, but it does give a little bit of dewiness. I guess I just have this habit of choosing deeper tones when I'm not really as deep complected as I think I am. Love the finish. I don't think it accentuates my texture. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And I do think I put on just a little bit more on this side. This is what it looks like if it's sheared out a little more. See? Man, it's really pretty. I had not really settled on a foundation prior to this one because I was almost convinced that I just couldn't wear foundation. Every single time that I did, the initial application would be more or less okay, but toward the end of the day, foundations tend to oxidize on my skin really weirdly for some reason. Don't love, I don't know, that look where foundation is almost like separating and it's just sitting on top. I'm going to go ahead and test this out and see how it looks, how it wears throughout the day, at least for a few hours. But my initial thoughts, they're pretty positive. I love that it has hyaluronic acid, which my skin loves. I think most people's skin loves hyaluronic acid because of its hydrating properties. So yeah, this is what she looks like. I'm stoked. The shade match is a little wonky, but I'm pretty sure that my skin will get this like toasty when summer comes. So this is definitely going to be a summer must-have for me if it wears nicely. Now, she says to pat this on in certain areas that you want to increase the coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and pat this a little bit under my eyes. The feeling is comfortable. I don't feel like I have a bunch of products on my face. Oh, and it is building up quite nicely under the eye. Check it out. Okay, so I do have this little healing blemish right there. So I'm just gonna add the tiniest bit right there. No, still a little too much, so I'm just gonna spread it over on this side. Don't like the feeling of makeup on my hands. You know, that's just preference. I'm using this because I feel a ton of cat hair on my face, so I'm trying to get it off. So far so good. As I said, I'm really enjoying the finish of it. I like that you can build it up slightly. I wasn't looking for a full coverage foundation to begin with, so I'm happy that it's medium coverage. So now I'm going to do my eyebrows really quick, apply the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back and check out Danessa Myricks' blush. Okay, so I had to stop myself because I figured that if I kept adding base makeup such as bronzer, contour, the shade was probably not going to come through as true to what it is. I really just want to go ahead and read up a little bit on the blush. I have the shade Primadonna, and it says effortless blurring balm to powder color for cheeks and lips with a natural matte finish and buildable flush. Formulated with Upsolite technology for unrivaled blurring and oil control. This Swedish technology creates a soft focus, smoothing effect on pores and fine lines. Create the perfect flush of color on cheeks and lips with ease. What it does: smoothing, blurring, texture reducing, blendable, oil absorbing, hydrating, and all shades are universal and are designed to look great on every skin tone. All day wear, weightless, soft matte formula, buildable color creates soft to bold results. How to use it? It's as simple as swirl, press, tap to blend and blur. So this does retail for $25. It's a gorgeous shade. My heart just, cannot with this shade. It's so beautiful. The first time that I tried this, I didn't have much on my skin. I think I only had a Verdant Force Field. And as I applied it with my fingers, the application was just a little bit too patchy. I didn't like that I couldn't really control the application. So I'm going to try and use a fluffy-ish brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pat it. I'm not gonna swirl because check it out. Look at how much impact that gives. It is beautiful, and as you can see, blurring for show. But as I said, I'm not trying to apply it that heavily. I kind of feel like I'm going through this phase of really liking the pinks and purples on my skin tone, and ever since I found that my skin was like olive, it's been a lot easier to find shades that really complement my undertone. So any pinks and things like that, pinks, purpley tones, I feel look really pretty on olive skin. But that's not to say I can't wear any other shade. I'm just saying that before, I guess I didn't stray away too far from the browns and kind of nude shades. I'm sort of exploring the world of color as of late, and I'm loving it. It does seem to look a lot better with the brush application. One thing I do have to say about these, it is really easy to go overboard, and I'm not sure if all the shades are this like strongly pigmented. I'm assuming that they are. So for anybody looking to achieve a really punchy, saturated kind of flush, this is it for you. For anyone else who is probably not as comfortable wearing very pigmented blush or doesn't quite have a good handle on blending just yet, I would say start with something else. In my opinion, again, I could be totally wrong, or the rest of the shades could be not as pigmented. It's just my opinion. I'm just gonna bring it up to the eye a little bit so that my eyes don't look so out of place. Yeah, this is what it ends up looking like. Do want to blend these just a little bit more, and I'm just gonna go in with my foundation brush. I'm not adding anything. I'm really just, again, trying to blend the edges so that they don't look as harsh. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the lips. So let me take off this, I have a little bit of lip oil, so I'm just gonna take that off. Okie dokie. And I'm going to tap it also with my finger. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add it like that. So is this shade not gorgeous? Look at it. And I could build this up just a little bit, just to see what, to see what it looks like. Just stunning. Stunning. Just by playing with it, I kind of prefer the sheer kind of wash on my lips. I guess I don't usually wear really bold pinks. If I got used to myself looking like this with a strong pink lip, I might just try to experiment a little bit more with this shade for the spring. and wear it a little more often on the lips. I'm so happy with it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add mascara. I'll be back and then we can add a little bit of lip oil just to see what it looks like with a glossy finish. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of bronzer. This is the Skin Mimetic Bronzer Micro Suede Bronzer from Make. Man, this is so cute. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of the Vital Surgeons, what is this called? Yeah, Alrighty, so this is what it's looking like so far. Although the foundation does say that it helps control oil, if I'm not mistaken, right? Am I making that? Oh, so yeah, so it does say that it helps decrease the appearance of oiliness and visibly reduce the look of shine and pores. I'd have to say that for the most part, yes. However, right here I am looking a little bit more shiny than what I would like. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of the Make setting powder and only to this part of my face. That's a little better. So this is a really pretty kind of like springy vibe. With my order, I had actually included the Balm Powder, is that what it's called? Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in shade 6, which is supposed to be tan with neutral undertones. And I'll show you a clip because I try very hard to choose wisely because I don't like sending products back, knowing that any returned items at Sephora, they get tossed. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I try not to send products back. However, I was kind of confused because I would say that I am tan with neutral undertones. There's one other one which would be shade 3, light medium with neutral undertones. And yeah, when I applied shade 6, it was just not my shade at all. It was way too deep. There was no way I could make it work. Even in my toastiest skin during the summer, I knew that I just couldn't wear that shade. What I did notice though about the Blurring Balm is that in contrast with the Blurring Balm blush, what is supposed to be the foundation, it's a little more shiny. And to my surprise, it's actually a lot more true to the claim of balm to powder. I don't know if it was just like my skin just not having a very good time with it. As I was applying it to my face, it felt like I was catching all my dead skin cells. I know it's kind of gross, but it felt gritty. You know, like as I was applying it on my skin, just wasn't really something that I wanted to keep. I don't think that it's a bad product. I just think that maybe I'm just not the customer for it. And the way that I was applying it, which was with my fingers, I was applying it and it looked super patchy. I just didn't try it with a brush. Maybe that would have been better, but I follow Danessa Myricks on Instagram and every time I've seen her use it, she uses it with her fingers. I'm still kind of debating whether or not I want to give it another shot, picking the right shade for myself. I just don't know that I want to do that if the actual texture of it is not right for me. The blush I decided to keep because it was going to be something that I was going to apply over foundation and over several other products that I could work with the formulation so that it didn't look as dry or as patchy. But with the Blurring Balm, maybe I just didn't prep my skin the way that I should have. I don't know, but point being, I just wasn't sure that I should order it again. So another thing that I was really disappointed by was the Hourglass Unlocked Satin Cream lipstick, and I picked up the shade Shore because on the Sephora website it looked a little more cool toned, a little almost like grayish. The swatches just don't seem to match up to the actual lipstick. It's not the same shade. I was tempted to keep it just because I wanted to try the actual formulation. I did not expect for the shade to look so similar to so many of my other shades. The one that stood out to me as it being like a dead on shade dupe was my Sephora collection lipstick in Be Proud. Girl, like that looks exactly the same. And I pulled out a few other shades to show you how similar that shade is to several other shades. I compared it to the Rare Beauty shade Wise Merit Signature Lipstick in the shade 1990. I would rather just keep what I already have instead of spending $38 on a lipstick that looks so similar to so many other lipsticks, and I just wasn't impressed with the formula either. Like, I feel like had I been impressed with the formula, maybe I would have been tempted to keep it when I felt like it wasn't even worth spending the $38 on like a normal lipstick. Again, I did send that one back. We'll see. I did get other things through Ulta. So I have a few other products coming up that we can check out together. Yeah, I didn't want to spend that much on products that I wasn't gonna be 100% happy with. In this economy, girl, Hourglass is playing with me. Okay, so I want to show you what the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed looks with a glossy finish. Doesn't that look so stunning? So pretty. So I'm gonna wear this face of makeup for a little while and then check back in with you later to show you how it wears throughout the day or after several hours. Also, I forgot to mention, it is 3 o'clock. Anyway, I'm gonna go make my man some cookies for Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys back in a second. All right, friends, so this is what I'm working with. It is 9:51, and I don't know about the oil control situation. I suppose my cheeks don't really look that glossy, but definitely right here, I feel like you can really see the pool of oil. The lip, of course, wore out, but it wears out to this pinky color, which I like. But all in all, I'm not upset about the oiliness that I do have, because I feel like I would have touched up just a little bit, or at least like dabbed my skin sometime before it got to this point, but I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to do anything to it, just so that you could see exactly what it looks like on my skin. As you can see, your girl is not in a good shape right now. I'm oily. But it's also really warm up here in my attic, so that might also have something to do with it. I just baked, had dinner, spent the evening editing, and yeah, this is what it's looking like. I didn't really go out, you know, out and about, but as far as like within a controlled environment, this is what you'll likely get as a result. My skin type is combination to oily, so I am prone to the oils, you know. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hang out with me in the future, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.